Thank you so much, Madam Master of Ceremony, Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Sabri Musa, Timbalan Naik Chancellor Taiwan Pelajar Universiti Melaya, yang dihormati Puan Rosita Muhammad Amin, Pengarah Eksekutif Jabatan Taiwan Pelajar, Timbalan Dekan Taiwan Pelajar, pegawai-pegawai Taiwan Pelajar, para mahasiswa-mahasiswi yang amat kita kasihi. Very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Anyone here who does not know Bahasa Malaysia, can I just have a show of hands? You don't know any Malay word. Okay, but the majority know some Bahasa Malaysia. Okay, I will try to speak fully in English, but should I fail here and there, you just raise your hands because this is a very informal talk actually. Because Madani is a new concept in the country, as you know. And it's quite important also that all of us as students, staff members, and members of the community to just get to know what it is and see how it relates to our life. Just a few slides who just guide us. There's so much that you can talk about Madani, but seriously, if and when we have time, we just want to speak about why is this topic important, what is the relationship between Madani and the concept of dialogue. You know, we are all very diverse. Not only in Malaysia we are diverse, but here in Universiti Malaya we have students from international level. So that adds to the what you call it, diversity, if you like. And then we want to focus on the context of UM and those of us who are in University of Malaya. So we'd like to speak a little bit about the background, the concept Madani itself. And then, very critical, in case there are some of us who are still not aware, there is a serious threat to the planet today. You've heard of the concept of climate change, right? So we are actually directly involved with that, but most times we do not see it as such. So here and there, maybe in small bits and pieces, we can see how we can help mitigate climate change. Okay. Okay. Why is this topic important? Because, as we said to you just now, it's something new. It comes from nice people who are in charge of managing the country. Shall we put it that way, yeah? So try once in a while to put yourself in the shoes of people who have to do that. Like today, try to put yourself in the shoes of those seniors, those lecturers, those officers who have to speak to you about things. Do you think it's easy? I don't think so. So in terms of a nation, what more in the global scenario, it will be that much more difficult. So from time to time, you'll see people coming out with aspirations, with visions. Even Universiti Malaya will speak about that, I think, tomorrow especially, isn't it, Prof? Your wonderful Vice Chancellor will speak to you tomorrow. But Madani itself actually is an acronym. It's also in English, by the way. You can Google it. In English, it is SCRIPT. So I invite those who can't speak Bahasa Malaysia to Google script. Yeah. So the acronym comes from 6 principles. Number 1 is, pardon? Sustainability, bagus. Right, very good. So top student, which faculty? Yes, very good. So I have a friend here. Kesejahteraan or well-being, ya, daya cipta, creativity, hormat, respect, keyakinan, confidence, ya, ihsan. Ihsan is empathy. Yeah. So it's a kind of way of thinking. Yeah. I'm trying to sort of not make this difficult. Yeah, I'm trying to just talk about it in a manner that is, very simple and that we can relate to it. Yeah. So it's an idea by the top management of the country who would like very much to see the nation move forward into the future. Yeah. Think of the present. What are the conditions of the present? Uncertainties, right? Climate change, There are conflicts here and there. When people start talking about people quarreling over social media, for example, they get into all kinds of negative thinking. So the Prime Minister would like very much for the country, and the Prime Minister and his team, of course, would like the country to move forward to build a society that is holistic in nature, in terms of their health and well-being, and what do you call it, balancing, and balance in terms of their physical and human development. Okay, so narrative of the Madani concept. Narrative means the story vis-a-vis Madani has to be told, has to be understood. And what is being highlighted, and by the way, my reference is this small text, and don't be scared. Just now, Puan Rosita says, maybe kita semua, we don't like to read very much. But these days, there's rapid reading, there's all sorts of reading mechanisms. You can even ask your chat GPT, is it AI, to help you, right? But we'd like to warn you, this is exactly what the narrative is trying to say. Do not go on with that. What Madani wants to do is to stop the process of dehumanization due to advances in technology. And the most clever people in science and technology have actually warned us that if we don't stick to our humanity, the special things that we have inside us, and we allow technology to take over, then we would be losing things. We would be losing ourselves. And this is what Madani is trying to address, the losing of our humanness and humanity. Is it happening? Well, we do not know. We can have chats about that. And by the way, I come from the Center of Civilizational Dialogue, which is across the road. And we do a lot of dialogues. And if any of you are interested to dialogue about anything you like Puan Rosita, we invite you to email us or to let us know what you'd like to talk about or discuss. Okay? So this is about the future. Madani is about the future. And Madani itself has the connotation of civilization. Okay, are we all civilized at the moment? Yes, we are, because if we are not civilized, there will not be orderliness in our lives, right? Today, in society, we have institutions. We have the education institution. This is one institution of higher learning. We have the institutions that take care of our financial situation, institutions that take care of politics, of so many other things, right? So there's orderliness, right? There's discipline. Prof. Baharuddin was talking about this. So that is about being civilized. But at the moment, there's two things that actually threaten the kelangsungan or the health of our civilization. Number one is the physical, which is to do with climate change and how the planet is changing physically due to our own actions and activities. Secondly, this attitude, this lack of understanding that values are very important. Nilai itu sangat penting. Dan nilai itu adalah kepercayaan. So what are values? So tell me actually at least two values from your own tradition that you believe in. The doing of good, integrity, yes. Secondly, just two. Loving other people, caring about the people, compassion, right? So if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Hindu, if you're a Muslim, and excuse me, those of you who are extremely religious, for example, in the Islamic tradition, don't think that I'm doing pluralism here. Don't think that this is menyamakan. So it's got nothing to do with that. This is about finding common values despite our multiculturalness, despite our diversity. And this is what is needed by humankind today. Because we are all different and we want the differences to be respected. So anything and everything I will say after this is all going to be help you understand the basic narrative of Madani. It's about inclusivity. It's about making people feel that they belong. And is this threatened at the moment? Yes, to some degree, to some people. They feel that they are being excluded. The narrative that they hear everywhere is not, dia tak include kita pun, kita tak penting and all that. No. So this narrative is trying to make us feel confident that we all belong and we all have, most critically, what? Responsibility to make that unity something that will happen, something that will be real, yeah? Something that will be bringing us into the future. So the author of the book actually says the times that we are in now, everybody talks about post-normality, isn't it? It's a very difficult time, it's a very complex time. And what we aim to do through this Madani concept is that we want to build resilience. This is the most important thing. Can you control changes in your life? No, you can't. Yeah? You cannot control the changes. You won't know what happens tomorrow, next week, next year, and all of that. But what you can control is your own internal strength and mechanisms to strengthen those resilience. Yeah? So just a little bit of very brief outline of what M. Yeah? So our friend just now says it's sustainability, kemampanan. So PMX does not want us to just worry about the physical environment. Most critically, he wants us to worry about the quality of the human being. Because it's not just the environment. How is the environment disturbed to begin with? It's because of what human beings do to it. Many of the, hudud or limitations of the environment, for example, you can only put so much gases into the atmosphere, after which the temperature will rise, we'll have depletion in the ozone layer and such and such. Yeah? So I also would like to appeal to all of us, no matter what discipline you will go into after this, engineering or economics or whatever, please try to take an interest in the physical issue regarding the environment. Yeah? Just not to create another subject, just embed it, yeah? into what you're thinking, into what your research is all about. So values, just now you spoke about values. So how do you strengthen the environment by looking after its health, right? Stop polluting, don't throw things and all that. Save electricity, save energy, change to energy that's sustainable. But how do you actually maintain and sustain the human being? This is the crucial point. So we have in University Malaya many faculties that deal, especially faculty science, faculty sastra, isn't it? Faculty of arts and social sciences, where you have psychology, we have history, you have other non-pure science subjects. So we'd like very much for everyone to understand that University Malaya is a comprehensive university. Yeah, maybe we are seen to be very important and forward in terms of certain disciplines, but it does not mean that disciplines which are non-physical in nature are not important. So, okay. Secondly, kesejahteraan and well-being. So it means that we have, as we said earlier, we have to have a balanced life. Yeah, you pursue success in the physical sense, in the worldly sense, but don't lose your characters as a human being. You're caring for your roommate, you're caring for the environment, you're caring for your neighbors, you're caring for your family. Anybody has no family here? You tak ada family, Masya Allah. Okay, look at our friend here and try to be members of his family. Yeah, seriously, I don't mean that as a joke. I mean that in a serious manner. Have concern and care for your other fellow human beings. Yeah. So only if you have this, you will have, kita kata dalam bahasa Melayu, membersihkan jiwa yang bersih. Only then you'll have a soul that is at peace, a soul that is able and willing to help other human beings. Because the soul is something that is not talked about in any discipline. Yeah. Only one discipline that talks about it is traditional belief or religion. So once in a while, try to upgrade yourself in terms of knowledge about this, yeah, because how to be a good human being, yeah, just now we saw Puan Rosita dah cakap discipline, don't do this, don't do that, that's part of it. But about the soul is something else, it's about your heart. Somebody asked one nice person, one educated person, what is the heart, H-E-E-R-T, of education? That person says, education of the heart. Education of the heart. So everybody has heart. Anybody has no heart? So that one I don't want to know if you have no heart. You do have a heart, yeah. But we seldom talk about it. We seldom look at the condition of our heart. But that is the thing that is being re-looked at through Madani narrative, yeah? In ways that will not bore you, in ways that will not make you feel upset. What is this? You're talking about something that is not measurable. Actually, there is a new discipline now, East and West, amongst those who believe, amongst those who do not believe. There's scientific evidence that talk about the heart as something whose functions can be measured. So if you're interested in that, there are also disciplines that you can look at. Daya Cipta, of course, creativity, everybody knows. But you know, creativity, especially to be creative in the good sense, require you to have a good heart. Many things in the Madani pillars, yeah, require you to have a good heart. Yeah? In reality, all of us here have good hearts, seriously. Yeah? Because it's people with good hearts that are able to have the discipline that Puan Zorita was talking about, the capacity to join groups like this, to be part of a team member. Yeah? So indirectly, we all have good hearts. That's not to sort of, you know, tepuk dada macam tu sendiri. No, just saying that what we're talking about is real. What we're trying to say here is, since you've heard this many times, right? You are the future leaders, and you know at your stage, well, I don't think so. Tak, one day you will be standing here. One day you will be the heads of departments. One day you'll be the prime ministers. One day you will be. So your trajectory in life is already, your map has already begun. Yeah? So right now I tak tahu which stage, which milestone, but you're already there. So seriously, siapa yang orang Islam tu, bacalah Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and listen. I'm trying to speak from the heart and from the brain, and I'd like your heart and your brain also to listen as much as you can. And if you have problem, what is it? You cakap apa? You can come and tell me, you can come and ask me. But don't let these few minutes be a waste for you. Yeah? So be creative, but in the positive sense. And creativity, again, is not just to solve physical issues. Yeah? How to make this glass like tinggi sikit like this. And then terus like this, kan? And then, I tak payah lift it up. You know, this is engineering and science lah. But more importantly also how to solve issues of humanity lah. Kalau kawan society, kawan tak ada family, how can? So University Malaya, Alhamdulillah, is very good at this. Puan Rosita, I just heard a few things just now. You are the wakaf, you have pockets and departments that can help you. Yeah, and it's open to everybody, not just to people of a certain religion. Respect, this is most critical, isn't it? Who do you respect first of all? Yourself. See, I didn't know this. I thought respect was about others. No, you respect yourself also. Most critical, you respect yourself. Because without respect for yourself, you will not have confidence. And for a while, when I was younger, I had a lot of issues in that respect. So why did I become like that? We can talk about that later. But it's very critical to be respecting yourself to begin with, and then those closest to you, of course. Yeah. And then, you know, respect sometimes is painful, is it not? Sometimes you look at people, they don't deserve to be respected, kan? Apa macam ni, they don't deserve. But believe you me, this is where the spiritual intelligence thing, yeah, element comes into the picture. Believe you me, there are laws of nature that are not just physical in nature like this. If I drop this, it goes down because of gravity, right? But there are laws of nature that talk about spiritual things. Spiritually, don't be scared of the word spiritual. It means something that you don't see with your eyes is metaphysical. Metaphysical means beyond the physical. Like, if I smile to you, undoubtedly, the person that you smile to will feel good. You tak percaya, you smile to the person next to you. Yeah? Very seldom you smile at somebody, you know, they might get a shock. And you smile then and say, oh, what's wrong with this person? Something's wrong. But seriously, if not much, just a little bit. And one of the spiritual rules is that if you feel bad, smile. At first it's a plastic smile. Later on, that plastic smile will become real, because as you smile, there'll be hormones, chemicals inside your body that will be at work. Faham tak? So I'm also talking to you now about the closeness of physical laws and spiritual laws. And Madani concept needs that. You cannot speak about Madani society if you're just talking about it in the physical sense of the word, okay? So then with respect, the world will be a better place, is it not? Even if the person you need to respect doesn't deserve your respect to begin with, but believe it to be a law of nature also, that you're doing good to him. One day he will do good to you, or at least he will not do harm to you, because you would have imbued him with something that he needs, vitamin C or vitamin XXY, whatever it is. Confidence. So of course the Prime Minister is talking about have confidence in the ruling group. As I said just now, and then I'm very apolitical, and not doing this because I have political aspirations. No, this is all part of the life of Malaysia at the moment. So you have to give confidence to those who are in charge. Like you have to give confidence to Puan Rosita, Prof Sabri, Dr. Iskandar, our deputy deans, and everyone in charge, your lecturers and all. So you have to have confidence and give them a chance. And if you find that something is the matter, there are avenues of doing it. Don't be rude and break people's heart. Like for example, fitnah, in Malay it's fitnah, in English, bad mouthing perhaps, you go into social media and you attack someone. And that's that's a hot topic at the moment, but people still do it, And then, you lose yourself. Today you buy a diamond ring, you take a picture. I don't know, all that stuff. So, but I'm sure the audience here, we are not in that category. So believe that you have to have confidence in the system that is there. And if something is the matter, it's your responsibility to speak up and address the issue together with those who are in charge. And ihsan is very critical. Peduli dan belas kasihan. Be compassionate to other people. And this if you don't have this, it's like you're less of a human being actually. And there are people who don't have so much of this, not because of their own choice, but because they were treated along the way, they were brought up along the way by people who did not show them ihsan, right? So if you are one of those, try to develop. And I said, it's this kind of people, I think, who cannot smile, who cannot trust others. Trust is very important. You have to trust others. I don't trust anyone because I don't know what ihsan, but wherever I got ihsan. Nobody take care of me, what? Dia peduli, tak peduli. No, don't do like that. So imagine trying to make a whole nation behave this way. Imagine. You think it's going to be easy? No. So we, in any small ways that we can, we try. So why is this topic very important? You say, this is very local, Malaysia only. Orang lain tak cakap pasal Madani pun. I'd like to correct you. In 2006, at the planetary level, 190 something countries in the world today all agreed to this Earth Charter. And it took 12 years in the making. So we stand at a critical moment in Earth's history, a time when humanity must choose its future. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent and fragile, the future at once holds great peril and great promise. To move forward, we must recognize that in the midst of magnificent diversity of cultures and life forms, we are one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny. And we must join together to bring forth sustainable global society founded on respect for nature, universal human rights, economic justice, and a culture of peace. Towards this end, it is imperative that we, people of the Earth, declare our responsibility to one another. So I will not have time to disassemble lah. But what we're saying is, and then you can say, wow, the PMX tiru this one ke? No. What we're saying is what we do in Malaysia now is what the whole world wants. And the thing about this piagam is that you have to indigenize it. So some of you are from overseas, right? Which country? From where? Pakistan. So when you go to Pakistan, you have to indigenize this in the Pakistani way. You understand? So maybe some things in Malaysia you learn, you can take home. But each community will have to do this, indigenize this, and take this up in their own way. And everybody have heard of this, and there's 17 goals, right? And there's 169 targets, 269 targets if I'm not mistaken, and 100 something. So it's just a lot, it's massive. But look at that list. It's not rocket science, isn't it? Is it rocket science? It's very, very down to earth and very human. It refers to human needs, right? And why are all the clever people in the world in 2015 came up with this 17? And they had massive consultations. And to those people who are geniuses in this room, engineers, economists, whatever, look at that. All these lists, you cannot do a single one if you are less of a human, you are less of the human being that you need to be. And that's what Madani concept wants you to be. Reclaim your humanity. That's what the Earth Charter wants you to do. Reclaim your common humanity. So I hope next time you see this picture, this table, it'll have a new meaning for you, right? And tiada kemiskinan, you say, oh, that's not my job. Those poor people, they are lazy. That's why they are poor. It doesn't work like that. There are things called structural injustices. Did you know that some people don't even get to have the ability to go to school? No access to schooling. Yeah? No access to clean water. You walk 12 kilometers just to get a pail of water. By the time you go back, there's nothing left. You understand? You have to understand this. Why? We are Malaysia, we're okay. My family is okay. That's why I come here and study. That's why you have to stop thinking like this. Because, have you heard of COP, Conference of Parties Conference? Yes. Yes, very good. Sustainability champion. Eh? So, right, there has been 27 COPs and they have all not been successful. Next one will be November, COP 28. One of our deputy vice chancellors, I hear, will be going. You know, so quite a few of people that we know here. So what is it that we can offer at this international meeting? Something at number 18, ethics and morality. And this is what the Madani concept is trying to tell us. Inclusivity, justice, caring for other people. Yeah? And how do you create this narrative? Yeah? So the narrative has to be both backed by science and also backed by metaphysical knowledge. Yeah? So we don't want something that is just words, but without meaning. You don't want that. So this is the problem with religion. Let me just take 1 second. The problem with religion is it has a lot of beautiful principles, but do people actually actualize those principles? They memorize those principles, tapi do actually do it? Amalkan tak dalam kehidupan? So this is the thing. So, minta maaf dekat orang yang super duper religious. Yeah? I'm not super duper religious. You look at me also, you tahu kan? But what my point is, we try very hard to make this a success, and now it is already 2023. Dah nak habis pun, there's only 6 point something years only left, and not much has been done. And Dr. Antonio Guterres, he said we'll be marching ourselves into climate hell. He cannot contain his disappointment anymore. And again, the students and the lecturers and the officers here said, that's got nothing to do, it's got everything to do with us. Because in the manner that we can, however we can, we must help this agenda. And I hear that there are plans afoot for everybody to actually mark, even as students. How much energy do you save? How much is your carbon footprint and all of that? And most critically, we have University of Malaya, give a clap of hands, we have the University of Malaya Center for Sustainable Development. And so please get to know about this center. And University of Malaya is ranked quite highly this year in terms of our sustainability activities. Yeah? So these are the multiple crises that is happening today. You might say, what's this baby got to do with? This baby is being abandoned by the mother. Presumably, she was born out of wedlock. How did that social problem happen? You can probably trace the narrative. Would the parents be people who are well educated, well endowed? I don't think so. Right? For all intents and purposes, the mother was forced to abandon the baby. And then the handcuffs, corruption. Now, I'm not saying where these things are happening, but you can imagine, okay? And then there's forest fires and food crisis because of the bad harvest, because of the droughts. Yeah. Plastics, that's very close to us. Aha. Aha. But I'm sure this plastic is recyclable and it won't stay in the environment for 500 years, right? Ini yang saya maksudkan. We sometimes think we want to do the big things, but the little things that's very much in front of us, we don't notice. So we'd like you to, all of us together, right? Then look at the planet. The planet is very hot. Everybody knows this. And this is of several years ago. Now it's even worse. There's very few places that is not red in color, isn't it? So imagine a human being having a fever. Can you have a fever or for a long space of time? No. Something. If you are a baby, you go bonkers. I mean, something will be wrong with the nervous system and all of that. So if you look at that picture, there's many things all of us can do something. Now, but what is closest to the society? Now I go to another slightly different direction in the community. Now, who are the people most well versed with the information, with the knowledge? We are the people. But how much do we actually engage the community, go into the community and make the community understand? Not much, right? So I hope you will join apa dia panggil apa, bukan NGO kan, co-curricular activities and whatnot, and hopefully some of this will go to the society. And as far as the community is concerned, their first glimpse of climate change and environmental issue is when there is a catastrophe. Okay, I think you can guess where these pictures are from, but you can take them from everywhere. And the first question people ask is, what actually causes all these disasters? And they are getting more and more frequent, right? Is it because God is angry with us? Is it because we have not done the right thing? What? Yeah? So this is now a body of knowledge, yeah? And as far up as the United Nations, religion has already been recognized as one way, as one mechanism to change human behavior towards mitigating all this, yeah? And all these things happen actually because we have gone beyond the limits of the environments. And you can see this, you can guess, and scientists, geologists are saying that we are now in the age of Anthropocene. Anthropocene means means human being. So we are an age where it's human beings that is causing all the things to the environment. And the latest report, which is 2023, earlier in the year, those who are doing the updating, see, if you look at the picture on the left, there are 9 parameters for the planet and for our lives to be normal. And 6 of those are already gone. Yeah? And one of those things that are already not there is fresh water. So the picture on the right, okay, the red and the orange are all of countries, of regions where there's not enough fresh water anymore. Okay, if you look at the tiny map, luckily Malaysia is still slightly bluish, so we're still okay. But we don't know how long we'll be okay. So those people who are in engineering, those people who are in anywhere that can help. Remember just now, creativity, Madani says. So be creative about how to solve this, about how to maintain. And it's not difficult. You can join NGOs that take care of rivers. If you go to UMSDC, Sustainable Development Center, there are colleagues there, there are staff members there, there are academicians there, researchers there that are actually doing work on the ground. So join them and help them. And you know what? You'll be much happier. Just now we talked about reclaiming the soul, isn't it? We talked about strengthening the heart, isn't it? And this is it now. This is it now. Help the environment, help fellow human beings, because you help the planet, you help the environment, you're helping human beings. But if you can, no, but I'm not interested in longkang and river and sampah sarap. I'm not interested. I thought, right, you help us in terms of building attitudes, new awareness and all of that. Yeah? And today, you talk about any disease in the world, including mental health, it's got to do with climate change. And this is the SDC Center, no, CDC, Center for Diseases. They did this research, and this report came up about 1.5 years ago, and they nicely made this chart. Yeah? And on the right-hand side is a portion or an example of report on how SDG has been successful or not, has been achieved or not. No, has not been achieved. There's a lot of cynicism, there's a lot of disappointment. But remember, you cannot do that. If you give in to cynicism and disappointment and boredom and what's the use? Then it's like you are suicidal, isn't it? Why do you think people commit suicide? And we hear, and you can easily Google this, there's a high percentage of suicidal tendency amongst young people. Why? Because they think, what's the use? And I won't mention it here, but amongst my friends in a certain country that I know of, we do collaborative research with them, the high degree of suicide amongst the community members because they don't see an end to this problem. There's no end to this problem because we refuse to pick up the humanity that is inside us, the strength that's inside us, the Reka Cipta, the Daya Cipta, the creativity. Can we solve this? Yes, we can solve this, but we need to change. Okay, so this is what it's all about, and you know, you can read about this so many ways. And in this country, for example, it is already a national agenda. But like we said, it's nice on paper. It's very nice on paper. There's so many people, there's so many documents, there's so many declarations, policies, tapi nak buatnya tu. So experts are saying we have no choice. We are now going into the next revolution, just as we went through the Industrial Revolution a couple of 100 years ago. Now it has to be the, hello friend, sustainability revolution. So siapa tadi? So we have coffee later, yeah? So how to start this revolution in Universiti Malaya, for example, right? So this revolusi kelestarian is very much connected to the Madani thing, yeah? So the problem now is a lot of theory, tapi amal tidak seiring. A lot of theories, a lot of talk, but the actual doing and the actual behavior is not connected. And there's experts say there's 15 competencies for living in a world, in a society that is sustainable. Yeah? And again, sorry to bore you, it's connected with what these principles are trying to say. So you have to make your brain work, think of all the solutions, Reka Cipta, and then you have to make your heart work. There has to be the passion, the will, the niat, the intention of wanting to make those solutions from faculties of faculty of engineering and other faculties to work. And then you have to have the amal. You have to start doing it, not just talk it. And then you know, actually sometimes, yes, I love you God. Betul lah. Tapi sakat tu je. But sorry, you have to be actually actualizing that declaration, yeah? And this is the spiritual intelligence part which can be developed, yeah. And if you have developed it, you'll be doing nice things, like some of your colleagues here in the University of Malaya, and some of them are still at the UMSDC. They go out to this community in Sungai Selangor, and they train these young children, 7 to 11 years old, about their environment until they can speak to university students about their ecosystem and what they're doing. And then they worked with local industry players to give them some money to build a small hut, you know. That's where their so-called center is. You know, you feel like you want to cry. And here in University of Malaya, you have so much resources. So the lecturers here, the students here, yeah, must take on some of this work, and we must avoid this. Everybody knows about this. Don't go beyond 1. Before it was 1 degree centigrade. Now they have raised it to 1.5, right? Sikit lagi 2. Now you know the consequences, right? And if you reach 3, then 10 months out of 12 months in a year, you're going to be facing droughts. What will you say? There will be no water right now. You turn on the tap, I want fresh, good, clean, drinkable water here now. Banyak cantik muka. What do you do to make sure that that is possible? When you see taps dripping, do you take any action to stop the dripping? I'm talking to myself lah. In UM, let's say in my house lah, not UM. How many toilets in my house? Are all the pipes doing well? What can I do? You go to the shop lots outside there. sometimes bursting for days, isn't it? Water sprinkling everywhere. Does anybody care? And then you talk about water tariffs, you talk about water subsidies and all. That's not right. So let's change the attitude. Kamu siapa? University Malaya student mah. You must show, You must show that you know what you're talking about. You mean business, okay? Because good things, dia like macam, other people akan tiru, I will copy you. You are leaders. Remember that you are leaders. Even those of you that I don't think I'll be leaders. Tak, you are leader already. The fact that you're sitting there, you are leader already. Okay? So don't shrug your shoulder. That's why you're listening to this boring talk about Madani. Okay? Because the reason why I'm standing here, because these things are real. It's real. Otherwise, I don't have the courage, moral courage to stand here in front of you. And just a little bit about diversity. We are all diverse. So we are all born with color, with the way to see the world that are biased. Okay, depending on how you are brought up, okay, depending on who your parents are, how they talk to you about other people. But diversity is a fact of life. I don't know about the religion, but in the Quran there's already an ayat that says we deliberately created you into nations and tribes from the first male and female, so that you might get to know each other, not that you will hate each other. And the best amongst you are the best in taqwa. And taqwa means following the right way. And for you who are Muslims, you know the word syariah. Non-Muslim, dia takut perkataan syariah. Dari segi bahasa, linguistically, syariah means root to source of water. Water is source of life. So if you follow the syariah properly, in a non sort of extreme way, it is about living correctly, and living with others in peace is one of those ways lah. And this is where dialogue comes into the center, comes into the picture. And guess whose idea it was to start the center in 1996? The person who wrote this book. Yee. Okay, I didn't say it, you said it. Okay. So anyway, we are now almost 24 years old. If you all can help us, why don't we invite him over one day, show him things that we are doing, because UM Semaya buat banyak dah, So we also sort of share through the center the ethics of dialogue. That is an ethics. It is not about who will win, who will lose. It is not about trying to influence the other so that they will become like you know. It's about a process of understanding. If I ask you, what does my hand look like? I can show you that, and you can describe me, kan? You can describe to me. But do you know what I see? I see this. I don't see this. So dialogue means you allow people and yourself to look. Oh, dia nampak macam tu. Sebab that's why he's talking like that. Right? And you must allow the other people that said to come here and see what I see. So somewhere along the line, there will be differences. So hormat, respect the differences. But there are similarities. So let's work on the similarities. So this is what Madani is trying to say. Be inclusive in that sense, right? But of course, we don't share the bad things lah, kalau boleh. So there are many centers in the world, not that many actually. In the whole of Malaysia, I dare say, our center is the only one that has lasted. Few other people started it, but because they were not, sorry, not nice, They're just joking. Anyway, it's very critical, and United Nations declared the year 2001 as the International Year of Dialogue of Civilizations, at the behest, at the suggestion of people like us. Anyway, these are the ground rules. Don't try to be, to be the victor lah. You've lost the debate. It's not a debate. It's nobody lose, nobody win. What you do is increase in understanding, increase in the ability to grow in terms of your perception of the other. Macam tadi, our friend says he has no family. Do you know what it's like not to have a family? Not really, I don't think so. We will never ever understand him 100%, but we can try and see the world from his perspective and try to be compassionate towards him. And then each participant eventually must attempt to understand the partner's perception and experience of his culture and ideology from within. It's a two-sided thing, and then intention must be good. And for SDG to be happening, actually, you have to have some notion of culturalness, kepelbagaian. Okay, and what makes up a culture? The symbols. For Muslims, dah nampak kan hijab. Tapi I takut kata hijab tadi tudung je. Because hijab has another connotation. I mean, if we cover our hair, that's it. You can ask us how. We held a dialogue between students, you know, and it's very nice when students have dialogue. The Hindu friend has the tanda sini kan. Say, well, why do you have the? Because they are fresh. They ask each other innocently, and the friend will tell, oh gitu. And there's no judgmental, faham tak? So why do Muslims cannot do this, cannot eat that? You can ask, but we don't dare, isn't it? Tapi we must try now. Janganlah tanya dengan ngada yang soalan kan. Just to instill whatever, you know. But serious things, you need to. Otherwise, we'll all be in boxes, and then we'll just, I don't know how we're going to be behaving to each other. Because the heart now must be able to reach out to others. The rituals, the practices, the values, and this is what we believe in. Yeah? What we think is halal, haram. Halal, haram means good and bad. Yeah? And the must, the wajib, and all that, underlying assumptions, ways. So what are your assumptions for believing in all this? And what do each culture think of relationship between nature and man? This is important now. This is what the international community is asking to be heightened, yeah? Brought to the surface. There is in every religion, example in Islam, a very great respect for nature. Nature is an amanah. It's a trust to human beings. Human beings are khalifah, stewards of nature. And all these things rings a bell in the other belief systems. So ini yang they want the United Nations level for us to bring up at COP28. And some of us share, because I feel like you all like family. Okay? Tomorrow I'm going to Jakarta. There's a climate change and religion conference. And the resolution from there be taken to COP28. So pray for us that this voice, and also there's the issue of how science and spirituality has to be harmonized for this. Because you don't want just religion, and then the notion now is that religions, they fight with each other because they don't do dialogue and all that. Yeah? So anyway, the recognition that there's a lot of research being done by non-religious people, and the book on the right is written by a group of economists, also non-religious people, and they believe that religious groups have wealth, not just money, but also creativity, but more importantly, the capacity to want to take action. Because if you do things, you get pahala, right? So this is the thing that we want to highlight to you. We need to highlight this, yeah? Spiritual intelligence. So again, you can Google this. There are very respectable research going on about this, and we at the center also do some work on this. So we need to have all. We need to have good EQ, good IQ, yeah? And yeah, yes, okay. Sudah habis. 5 minutes. Oh, you're so kind. 5 minutes, okay. Yeah. So last but not least, I'm sure this has already been touched. Here at the University of Malaya, we also have a series of values. We're talking about values, poise. Yeah? So you can Google this again. Poise, acronym for passion, oneness, integrity, sincerity, empathy. Okay? This is part of the strategic plan for for 2021 to 2025. So we are still 2023. So it's still in place. So those values, you realize now, can you see, it's got to do with Madani principles also. So we are on the right track, and of course, congratulations to University of Malaya for having achieved the ranking and all that. So for those of us who are Muslims, yeah, and I'm sure this our friends also can share this. In the Quran, in Surah Az-Zalzalah, it's only eight verses, yeah. But the last 2 verses says, if any of us do an atom's weight, atom itu kecil je, yeah, tiny weeny ni, like smile at you or whatever, he will see this in his book of records. It is written down. And for those of us who believe in the afterlife, That book of records is very critical. Everything you do here is being recorded. You say and all that. Right? And every little tiny atom of evil that you do will also be recorded. It's fair, isn't it? So susah sangat ke? If there's, susah sangat ke nak switch off and all that? Yeah? So, yeah. Anybody from Kelantan? Jangan lupa tutup lampu. You can't do anything else, you don't understand anything else. Tapi tutup lampu pandai kan? Tutup lampu. So itu saja, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor for the insightful talk just now.